Lawmakers gearing up to vote later this week on a war powers resolution. If that were to pass, that would limit President Trump's authority to strike Iran without their approval. Democrats pushing hard to get it passed. Chuck Schumer, watch.
Donald Trump has just launched America into a full-scale conflict against one of our most fervent adversaries without a plan, without an endgame, and without authorization for Congress. This is not what the American people want.
There is a discipline imposed when democracy functions, and democracy demands passage of the War Powers Act.
So far, Congress has been totally irrelevant because we've not used our power.
So President Trump firing right back, posting this quote: "The radical left Democrats, a party that's completely lost its way, are complaining bitterly about the very necessary and important attack by the United States and Israel on Iran. What most people understand is that they are only complaining because I did it." Democratic Senator John Fetterman out of Pennsylvania with me now. And thanks for coming back, Senator, and good morning to you.
All right.
How will you vote?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've already announced that I would vote it down. That would be the second time I voted it against that. And I would encourage everyone that's watching this to just read through what the Word Power resolution from 1973 requires. It says that the president has to provide 48 hours of notification of what's happened. And I've actually read through the letter from the president to the president pro tem, and that made that standard right now. And then you have 60 days up to another 30 extra days to 90 before then that would force us to withdraw those troops. And then after, that's why it requires then to get permission from Congress. But neither one one has been met and the other one hasn't even activated. And also formally, there are no American soldiers in Iran for now. So that's why I'm saying that this is kind of a symbolic or empty kind of a vote. And I think both people can agree they don't even have the votes at this point to pass it regardless.
We are watching the skies over Beirut. It's almost sunset there, and Hezbollah targets have been taken out and targeted on behalf of the IDF throughout the day here. Senator, how many Democrats will vote with you and Republicans on this?
As far as I know, I think I would be the only Democrat to vote it against that. And I just don't understand where I'm at. So, as far as I know, every single senator says we must never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear facility and a weapon. And now I think we all agree on that. Why can't you just acknowledge, hey, that's really happened now? That now they can't acquire those anymore. Why can't we just acknowledge that was a good thing and that the world's better now and more safe after what's happened? So if that requires me as a Democrat to just condemn those kinds of things, I think we've all been saying that we want to make sure that they can never make Iranian a nuclear power.
The president says they're only doing it because it's him. Is there truth in that?
I mean, I can't really speak to other people's views, but it does seem like there's a strong correlation about that. I mean, if after one of the worst evil leaders in the world has just been eliminated, why can't we celebrate that? Why can't we acknowledge that's a good thing? And now if every single member of the U.S. Senate says we must never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb, and after what's happened over the weekend, now that makes it virtually impossible to ever have those kind of technologies to build a nuclear bomb. That's a good thing. And now you can disagree on some of the tactics on the war, but now I think if it's a good thing's a good thing, I'm going to follow country, not party, whatever that's required to be a member of the Democratic Party. As a Democrat, now it's like we have to play it straight and just recognize this military action, hasn't violated the Word Powers resolution from 1973. And I think overall, for security and for justice and overall the region, I think it's been a strong, good thing.
Let me ask you another question. Senator Bernie Sanders said the following to Axios. He's going after the money, essentially. He said on Monday that Democrats need to focus on the purse strings and trying to push back against the war in Iran. Does he have a chance of winning on that?
Bernie's smart. He knows that we're in the minority, and there probably won't be any votes regardless. And now that's why I'm saying it's been strange. Why can't we all rally around behind our military when someone that we all agreed would be an objective? Why can't we just arrive now? Hey, we can have small difference about overall. I think this been. I mean, 50 of those leaders were eliminated in just one strike. I mean, I think most of the world really should celebrate what's just happened and look at the kind of people that now are condemning it. You know, they're the far left and those kind of people. Now, ask yourself, if you're defending and decrying and defending Iran, well, what's wrong with your values? Where are you at with these things? I mean, pick a side. And if you want to pick Iran's side, that's truly bizarre.
Well, just one final point here, just listening to you talk. I know how old you are. I know how you grew up. Likewise for myself, when something like this happens, America gets on board. Not always 100%, but pretty much on board. So again, what's changed?
I really can't explain that. I truly don't understand. The Iranian regime executed up to about 30,000 of its young people. And I'd like to point out, this war, all of this military action was not directed at any of the civilians. They were executing their own civilians. We actually were able to eliminate the leadership. And now that's been a good thing for the Iranian people. That's an incredible development in the region. And now all 100 senators in the United States agree we can never allow Iran to have a nuclear bomb. That's a good thing. Why can't we just collectively acknowledge that's a very, very net positive development in the region? And
Senator,
now this is not.
Yep.
Okay,
Last point. Go ahead. Finish it.
Oh, no, I was going to say, this is not a new thing. This is 47 years of this. This is 47 years of death to America. Well, guess what? They just got caught up with it now, and they just got wrecked. Like for me, I don't care if I'm a Democrat or, I'm going to celebrate that, and I'm going to acknowledge that.
Senator, thank you for your time. John Fetterman, we'll wait for the vote. Thank you for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.